All right, Math A, here we go. We got lesson 5-3, angles formed by parallel lines and transversals, day 1. All right, so we're going to be looking at angle pair relationships. We've already covered complementary, supplementary, vertical angles, and linear pairs. The angle pair relationships that we're going to see today are when we have two parallel lines and a transversal. So let's look and see what we got. So these symbols right here, that indicates that these two lines are parallel. So that's what that symbol means. So these two are my two parallel lines. This line that's crossing the two parallel lines is called a transversal. All right, so I've got two parallel lines with a transversal crossing those two parallel lines. What this has done is it's created 8 angles. I've got 4 angles up here on this parallel line, and on the other parallel line, I have 4 more angles, so a total of 8 angles. So we consider any angles inside of the parallel lines interior angles. So everything in here is an interior angle. So that would be angles 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are my interior angles. Any angles not in between the two parallel lines are considered exterior angles. So up here, I've got 2 exterior angles, angle 1 and 2. And down here, I've got 2 more exterior angles, angles 7 and 8. So there's my interior angles on the inside, exterior angles on the outside. All right, our first angle pair relationship is called corresponding. So for corresponding angles, first of all, they have to be on the same side of the transversal. So here's my transversal. So either they have to be on this side of the transversal or they have to be on this side. So whatever angle pairs, so we're talking about 2 angles here, same side. Next, one has to be interior and one has to be exterior. So one of the angles has to be on the same side of the transversal, one has to be inside, one has to be outside. And they have to touch different parallel lines. So let's look at that. Let's start over here on this side of the transversal. Angle 1 is exterior, angle 5 is interior. They're on the same side of the transversal, and they're touching different lines. Angle 1's touching the top parallel line, angle 5's touching the bottom parallel line. So we can say that angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. On this side of the transversal, we have another pair of corresponding angles, angle 3 and angle 7. Angle 3 and 7 are on the same side of the transversal. 3's interior, 7's exterior. And they're touching different parallel lines. So angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding angles. Let's look at the other side. On the other side, we've got 2 and 6. They're on the same side of this transversal. 2's exterior, 6's interior, touching different lines. So angle 2 and angle 6. Last pair, 4 and 8. 4 is interior, 8 is exterior. Same side transversal, touching different lines. Now the most important thing about these is not just what they are, is it's their relationship. All of these angles are congruent. Angle 1 and angle 5 should have the same measurement. Angle 3 and 7 should have the same measurement. 2 and 6, same measurement. 4 and 8, same measurement, because they are congruent to each other. So anytime you have corresponding angles are congruent. This actually only happens when the lines are parallel to each other. So if you don't know if you have parallel lines, you cannot say for sure that they're congruent. So this rule, meaning that they're congruent, only works when we have parallel lines with a transversal. Next one, alternate interior angles. This is when you have different sides of the transversal. So one's going to be on the left, one's going to be on the right. Both of them have to be interior, so they have to be on the inside and touch different parallel lines. So here I've got 3 and 6. They're on different sides of the transversal. They're both interior. and they're touching different lines. So we've got angle 3 and angle 6. The other alternate interior angles are 4 and 5. They are different sides of transversal, both interior, touching different lines. So angle 4 and angle 5. Now, also the important thing about alternate interior angles is they are always going to be congruent to each other if the lines are parallel. So they're going to have the same measurement. Alternate exterior angles. So these ones are going to be exterior angles, different sides of the transversal. That would be 1 and 8. So 1 and 8, both exterior, different sides of this transversal. And then 2 and 7. Alternate interior angles are also going to be congruent when the lines are parallel. So these first 3 pairs, we're always going to have congruent angles. Angle 1 and angle 8 are the same measurement. Same side interior angles. Last of our groups here, so they're going to be on the same side of the transversal and they're going to be interior. So that would be angle 3 and angle 5. Same side of the transversal, both interior, touching different lines. So angle 3 and angle 5. On the other side, angle 4 and angle 6 would be same side interiors. All right. And these ones are always going to be supplementary to each other. So this is our group that's not going to be congruent. They're going to be supplementary. And you can kind of tell they're not congruent. Look at this. This angle is less than 90 degrees. This angle is more than 90 degrees. So they can't be congruent to each other. So these ones are going to be supplementary instead. All right, here we go. Practice problems. Name the angle pairs 9 and 16. So here's my parallel lines. This is the transversal. 9 and 16 are both exterior, and they're on different sides of the transversal. That makes them alternate exterior angles. (14 and 15). See, 14 and 15. They're both interior, and they're on the same side of the transversal. So those wouldn't be same side interior angles. (10 and 12). 10 and 12. They're on the same side of transversal, but 10's interior and 12 is exterior. So that would be corresponding angles. (13 and 10). 13, 10. That's none of the ones that we've done today because they're touching the same lines, but this is from our last lesson. These two would be considered vertical angles. 11 and 14. See, 11, 14, both interior, different sides of the transversal. Those are alternate interior angles. Ugh. And then 11 and 15 is our last one. 11 and 15. That's not any of ours from today because they're not touching different parallel lines. So this is from our last lesson. These are linear pairs, and they should be supplementary. All right, last section. We know that angle 14 is 80 degrees. Okay, find the measures of each of the angles. Angle 16, let's see. Angle 14 is 80. Angle 16, well, that has to be 80 because these are corresponding angles. So that's going to be 80 degrees. Let's see, angle 15. These two are same side interior angles. Those are supplementary to each other. They should add up to 180. So 15 has to be 100 degrees. And now they add up to 180 because they're same side interior angles. 11 alternate interior angles. So those are congruent. So angle 11 is 80 degrees. Angle 9. See, that is vertical angles with this one. So number 9 is congruent because vertical angles are congruent. Last one, angle 10. These two are linear pairs. They should add up to 180 degrees. So that should be 100 degrees. The end. All right, Math Hard. See you later. Bye-bye.